Okay, this is a video on the vCenter server heartbeat. This is the administration console for it. VC1 is a VM running vCenter server, and it was the one that I created first and installed vCenter server on completely, and then I cloned it to vCenter 2, and then installed heartbeat on VC1 and then on VC2. vCSHA is the VIP that that you connect to manage vCenter. There's basically two network cards with 3 total IP addresses. There's what they call a public NIC, which holds the IP address for each individual machine, each individual host, VC1 and VC2. And also on the public NIC, there's the VIP that gets activated on the machine that's brokering vCenter services. And there are all kinds of things you set up to test for failover conditions and things like that. Here's where you can tell these are the 2 servers. This is VC1, this is VC2, and as we can see, VC1 is active, and it's got all the services running, and VC2's got nothing running except the heartbeat. And then as time goes on, the vCenter server heartbeat runs replication that replicates any changes that happen on VC1, mainly in the database, the vCenter server database, and replicates that to the database running on VC2. So I'm going to first simulate or I'm just going to switch active servers. So, well, actually right now you can see that the primary VC1 is active and VC2 is passive. So, make active, yes. And it runs through all the steps that it's taking, and you can hop over here to the application side, and as we can see, the vCenter server tasks are stopping on the primary. Once they're stopped here, it transfers the VIP. It hides it on VC1 and then starts it on VC2 and then starts all the services. And here's the logging where you can check and see what gives you a little better granular. I have verbose logging turned on, so it logs absolutely everything. Okay, now they're all stopped on VC1, and of course it stops replicating as well in that direction. The vCenter server database is stopped now, so all the changes have made it, and it transfers the VIP. It does that like most HA setups. It's a gratuitous ARP, which immediately updates the MAC address across the network just as a broadcast. Now, now VC2 is the one that's active, and it's now, the console that we're looking at here is now coming from VC2. We can look and watch, and the applications will start over here. And at this time, the vCenter server console is down, of course. And it's about a 5-minute cutover, I guess, which, you know, isn't quick by any means, but it certainly better than not having vCenter server access at all, especially in big environments. Okay, now the vCenter server should reconnect. vCenter client should reconnect here in a second. And it gives you a little weird little error, a timeout or something. And sometimes it'll, you know, prompt you for, you know, an SSL search, because it's now, even though we're pointed to the same host name or IP address, it's a different, it's being served from a different physical server, VC2. There it goes. Oh, well, I thought it connected. Yeah, there it is. That's normal. I get that almost. Well, that's the update manager. I had a little trouble with the update manager, but I got it. I got it working. That's the error message that you get almost every time. Or I think you do get it every time it cuts over. So it's still cranking up a few of the services. But at this point, you know, critical access would be restored, and you know, you're not out in the cold troubleshooting a cataclysmic vCenter server crash. And here are those are the two. So that's VC1 and that's VC2 right there. And there's a plugin, a Heartbeat plugin for vCenter server, so you'll get all the tasks show up here. So this is the task that's been running this entire time, making it inactive. Sometimes I have to go in and re-enable the update plugin. Update manager plugin. There we go. Okay, so all the services are now running on VC2, and now a replication starts in the other direction now. So now what I'll do is disconnect the NICs on secondary, which is the one that's hosting vCenter server. Oh, and one more thing. Here at the very top level, there's a Heartbeat plugin here too. Excuse me. You can't do very much through this, but in fact, I don't even know if you can do anything really. Yeah, I think the only thing you do is shut down the Heartbeat service. So, alright, so let me, it's good to give it a second. I've tried failover-test, and I've done them back to back, and you don't give the, a little bit of time between the cutover, sometimes it get a little horked. Check the logs. Let's check the replication, make sure that's all cool. Yeah, okay, so, alright. Oop. Yeah, I've been in the middle of a cutover when DRS will, migrate a machine. I logged directly into the ESX servers with the vCenter client, and I see VMs disappear from one host and appear on another host while the transfer of control for vCenter is being executed by Heartbeat. Okay, so yeah, and that's the second NIC. That's what they call the channel NIC. It's it's on its own subnet, and it's where it does all the replication and stuff like that. And they also really want it to be on separate V switches. I've done it both ways, and I haven't had any trouble with them on the same V switch, which how it is now. Okay, so we should see secondary will go down here. I think I've got my I can't remember what I set my ping, Heartbeat ping timeout things to, but I don't think it's any more than 30 seconds. Let's make sure it's down. Yeah, 181 is the VIP. Okay, so there it went down. VC1 is still up. So yeah, I got him set the default, so it's failover pending in 36 seconds. At any time now, if I were to reconnect the NICs on VC2, it wouldn't fail over. But I'm just going to go ahead and let it go. And that's going to still be unavailable because the VIP's still essentially on VC2. Now the VIP should be up now, so this should be responding again. Yeah. Yeah, start of the first few there. And it doesn't have a, it doesn't, there isn't a setting for auto failback, which is where you can designate a specific server to have priority. I'm sure you've heard of that, where you could install vCenter on a big physical box, and it's it's where you want it running all the time. And in the case of failures, you'll fail over to maybe a VM or a smaller box, and then when you get the primary back up, it auto fail back to the primary. There isn't that isn't in this product yet. So when you were to bring the in that case, if you were to bring the primary back up, you'd have to transfer control back to the primary, but manually by clicking on the make active button there. So vCenter should be back now. Yeah. Okay. So now it's all back up and running, but of course we've got the error condition because VC2 is offline. Now, okay, so let's log into VC2. I'm sorry. Let's look at VC2 here and see what he thinks is going on. See, as far as he's concerned, VC primary has become disconnected from the network. I had a restore going. See if that messed that up at all. No, looks like that's still going. Interesting. Okay, so that says that that usually means the heartbeat service is no longer running. So let's take a little look-see. Okay, so okay, interesting. So it shut down all of the services. Um, the vCenter services. The Heartbeat service is still running, um, which is weird. I don't know why it wouldn't show up here. Oh, that's because that NIC isn't up. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to re-enable the NICs on secondary. Well, let's first look at the, so that's funny. Okay, that's the channel connection. Okay, now it's just replicating. This can take a little while. It won't take that long. It takes about 5 minutes or so. So here you can check gives you some information on the communication between the two servers. So all in all, it's like I was telling you last week. I had a lot of trouble getting it set up. There was what it ended up being was the order in which the services start, or the priorities and dependencies, service dependencies. They weren't. I don't. The fix led me to believe that they weren't as clearly defined as they needed to be. What ended up happening was the single sign-on service. It would try to start before the database was started, and it wouldn't start, and then it wouldn't try again, and then it would just get hung. And I found a totally unrelated article on that related to vCenter, single sign-on service not starting, and and I made those changes. There's a few registry changes, and once I did that, it's been smooth. So all in all, I like it a lot. It's been really good. And I'll take a look at the what was it? It was the site recovery manager. I'll take a look at that here soon too. Anyway, hope you liked it. Talk to you soon.